Welcome to the New Mexico 911 program GIS training video series. This is the second video in the series. The video provides an overview on how to interpret the NM911 GIS data assessment report and the error geodatabase. Each month from 1st till 15th, the NM911 program collects GIS data from the geodata providers across New Mexico via the NM911 data portal. Data received from various providers are then converted to a state schema, validated for accuracy, and are aggregated into a statewide master database, which is then provided to the PSAPs for the emergency response operations. As part of the validation process, an assessment report and an error geodatabase are created with errors or discrepancies that are found in the data. The report and the geodatabase will help the geodata providers to correct errors in their GIS data to improve data accuracy. The data assessment report and the error geodatabase can be downloaded from the NM911 data portal under Reports and Data section. Validation reports and databases from all previous data uploads are available at this location. In addition to the report and the geodatabase, this section may also contain notes to download. This file will list any observations or questions we might have on your data submittal during the processing. Now, let's take a closer look at a sample data assessment report. This is a sample report created for October 2019 validation period. Let's take a look at various sections in the report. The report begins with the NM911 program information and the data collection process. The data upload summary section will list all the data sets that were uploaded to the NM911 data portal for the current validation period, the date they were uploaded, and their feature counts. The next section is about road center lines assessment. This section has three subsections, which include schema mapping summary, data import errors, and assessment results. Let's go over those one at a time. Each geodata provider manages their GIS data differently, and they may have various data schemas. To standardize data received from various geodata providers, the NM911 program adopted a standard database schema for the state. The data received from the providers are converted to this state schema. The table shows the crosswalk between the state schema and local schema. The NM911 program recommends that the geodata providers review the schema mapping and notify us if there are any errors in it. We will correct the field mapping to fix the assessment errors. The second subsection is about the import errors. During the data import process from local schema to the state schema, if any features have invalid geometry or data values, those records will not be included in the state database, and they will be exported to a separate error feature class. These records must be corrected by the geodata provider in order to include them in the state database. This sample report does not have any import errors. Let's take a quick look at another sample report that have a few road centerline import errors. As you can see, this report have two data import errors in road centerlines. The report also provides you the path of the feature class inside the geodatabase. And looking at the errors, both the errors have missing geometry, which means there are rows in the attribute table but no line segments in geometry. Sometimes during the editing process, there is a possibility to create extra rows. If empty rows are created by accident, they can be deleted from the database. If not, but if rows have actual street information, then those segments must be drawn and properly attributed. Now let's go back to our previous sample report. So the third subsection is about the assessment results. The table displays various error checks performed on the data during the validation process and the resulting error counts. These errors are exported to the error geodatabase as individual feature classes under NM911 errors feature dataset. Following the table, there are instructions on how to mark exceptions for some of the data errors. For example, the first four road centerline error checks look for valid parity for roads, which means for each road centerline, depending on the direction of the segment that it is drawn, Left side addresses must be odd and right side addresses must be even, unless your city or county address ordinances have different specifications. The NM911 program identified that several geodata providers' data are not in compliance with this rule and have mixed parity for the segments. We recommend correcting these errors to the best of your ability. Unfortunately, some of these errors cannot be easily corrected without affecting the addresses. In those cases, we allow marking errors as exceptions in the attribute table so that they will not be listed as an error in the next month's validation report. Please note that exceptions are not valid for all error check types. Refer to the FAQ section on the NM911 data portal or NM911 website for more information. The third section is about address points assessment. Similar to the road center lines, address points section also contains schema mapping summary, import errors, and assessment results subsections. As you can see, there are no import errors in this report. Let's look at another sample with a few address point import errors. There are 10 import errors in this data set. Of those, 5 have invalid values in the street direction column and 5 have invalid zip code values. For this reason, they were not included in the state database, and geodata providers must correct these errors in order to include them in the state database. Now going back to our previous report, under the assessment results table, you see various address point error checks performed on the data and their error counts. Note that these are different from road center line checks. These errors are also exported to the error geodatabase as individual feature classes under the NM911 errors feature dataset. Fourth section is about understanding and interpreting Fishbone analysis results. As part of our validation process, we perform Fishbone analysis on the data to create Fishbone lines. Simply speaking, these are the lines between the address points you provided and the address points that we geocoded using your data. These Fishbone lines provide an additional opportunity to review data errors, for example, the parity errors that we discussed earlier. Please note that Fishbone analysis is performed only if the address point and roads data uploaded by the providers contain street addresses, postal community, and zip code columns filled with valid values. The next section provides information on the contents of the error geodatabase. There are 3 feature datasets in the error geodatabase: NM911, NM911 errors, and Fishbone analysis. NM911 feature dataset contains feature classes with your data that were imported into the state schema. NM911 errors feature dataset contains feature classes with data errors resulted from the validation process. And Fishbone analysis feature dataset contains fishbone lines and the points between which these lines are created. Note that Fishbone analysis dataset is a conditional dataset only created if the uploaded data contains valid address and zip code values. The last and final section in the report includes program contact information if you have any questions regarding the data assessment process. Now let's take a look at the error geodatabase in ArtMap. I have opened an ArtMap session and I will open the Arc catalog window so I can navigate to my error geodatabase. I will move my Arc catalog aside and dock it to the right side of the ArcMap session. And I have a copy of the sample error geodatabase for Bernalillo County, as you can see highlighted on my screen. I clicked on the plus button to view the contents of the database, which has 3 feature datasets: Fishbone analysis, NM911, and NM911 errors. You can add error feature classes to overlay them on top of your data in ArcMap, either by simply drag and drop individual feature classes from Arc catalog to the ArcMap data window, or using the Add Data tool in your ArcMap and navigating to the database and feature classes within, where you can add one feature class at a time or multiple feature classes at the same time and add them to your ArtMap session. I'm going to cancel this. The name of the feature class will tell you what the error is. Once you add your feature class to your ArcMap session, open the attribute table to view what the errors are and where they are. Now that you know where and what the error is, you can make corrections in your data to fix them. Separate videos will be made available demonstrating how to correct address point and road centerline data errors. And finally, here is a sample of the notes PDF with our observations on the data and suggestions for correcting errors. In this sample report, the data have invalid values for county columns. The report also provides accepted data values for those fields so that the provider can correct those records in their data. This concludes the second video in the series. Thank you for your time and attention. For more videos, please check NM911 website at nm911.org.